The Boundary Park Alert System is sponsored by Pendle New Tech, a family-run Lancashire business you can rely on for everything fire safety related, including supply and installation, maintenance, testing, certification, alarms, risk assessments, like I said, anything fire safety related. But what do I know? Visit pendlenewtech.com and they'll sort you right out. Check the show notes for more information.
This is a test of the Boundary Park Alert System.
Hello and welcome to the Boundary Park Alert System with me, Matt Dean. I'm joined this morning by Andy Halliwell. Hi, Andy.
Good morning. Back to a morning record time instead of an evening one.
Yeah, which was ideal since I got to sleep at 3 o'clock, so I'm buzzing. Buzzing to be up. I was in your parish last night, Andy.
Oh, you were in Droylsden?
Droylsden Cricket Club. Yeah.
Oh, you at the cricket club?
Someone's birthday party. Yeah, I've been there quite a lot, entertaining the masses until well beyond the agreed time last night. It was a good night.
They know how to drink down there, don't they?
The people of Droylsden are very nice, I find. Well, certainly the ones that are around the cricket club area. Yeah. So I have no problem being seen displayed, with a Droylsden flag behind me in your back garden. And I quite like it. Nice bunch of people. So, yeah. So I've had it. It was a late night, and you get to a certain age where it's not just about how much you had to drink last night. It's about what time you got to bed that takes it out of you in the morning. So I've got me Christmas unicorn novelty teacup, which is full of some very strong coffee. It's getting to that time of year. To help wake me up, and I'll let you crack on with introducing the fan guest while I get some caffeine into me.
We should say the Christmas unicorn novelty teacup was on the website a couple of years back, and it's got a picture of our red-fleeced former director coming through on the other side of his Christmas unicorn novelty teacup.
What I would say is it's got a picture of a Christmas Grinch on there, looking particularly grumpy. Possibly while he was just after he'd enjoyed his pie at Royton Cricket Club, I think. So on the website, you can get your novelty mugs for Christmas. Anyway,
right. So we've got a returning guest. He's been on once before, I believe. So he's coming on for his second appearance. Yeah. So we'll go through the questions. There's one different one this year. But when was your first game, fan guest?
Roger Palmer's testimonial.
Oh yeah. I think I remember you saying last time. Good game to that, wasn't it? It's absolutely packed out. It was.
Yeah.
What a second division trophy around the ground. Fantastic stuff. Who was your first favourite player?
Richard Jobson.
Just straight solid answers. These aren't they?
Yeah.
Solid answers.
Is that because you like to play as a defender yourself, Dave?
I am a defender, centre half, don't move much. So that's where I normally stand. So I view it from a centre half point of view, pretty much every game.
He was class though, Jobbo, wasn't he?
Yeah, so
he was. Yeah.
Well, you can give us the rundown on the centre half display yesterday, if you like. What was your favourite away game?
Probably Fulham. If we're staying away from Wembley, I enjoy Fulham. I think
Wembley.
We're all in the doldrums before we went down to Fulham, and then we sold all the tickets, and then it was perfect FA Cup day, weren't it? Missed penalties, late goals, everything. So, and we definitely didn't stop singing that day.
No. Yeah, big following, good day out. Yeah, hopefully there's more of them to come. And give us a little known fact about yourself, maybe a different one from last time if you have one.
Yeah, I don't have much, to be honest. I don't think I've got one. The last one was this year coming up. So next October, I have a 25-hour birthday because the clocks go back. So I'll stick with that one for now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, something you've done. You've done something. You've joined something. That you weren't a member of last time. Tell us that.
Yes, I am an OASF director now. That I've joined, so that's been good. I've not been on there long, probably 6-7 months now. So I got voted on for 3 years. So trying to help make a difference to the Supporters Foundation.
Brilliant.
It's going really well.
Good stuff.
Yeah, well, we'll chat about that a bit later. But who are you? Who are you? Even though I said your name earlier.
Yeah, well, I'm Damien. Well, everyone calls me Damo.
What's your full name and how you're a director?
It's Damien Collinson is my full name. I am a director of the OASF, but everyone knows me as Damo. Everyone sees me knocking about, and any questions or anything like that about the OASF, come see me as well. So
I knew you were a defender, Damo, because I played a bit of football with you down at wherever it is,
the Broadfield.
Broadfield,
for the community trust put on. We do there's walking football and over 30s football. So if you're interested, get in touch.
It's a good laugh, actually. It's all right. Yeah, it's good. So speaking of a good laugh and censor our performances, Andy, like you said, let's get on to the miracle before Christmas that was Latics keeping a clean sheet against Crewe yesterday. Yesterday was a weird one for me. I went into that game yesterday just convinced we weren't going to lose the game. I don't know why. And I was convinced we were going to win. So I was only half wrong or only half right, however you want to look at it. But I just didn't feel like there was any pressure. I wasn't like stressed. I went out and sold some fanzines before the game, which I always really enjoy because I get to meet a lot of people and chat, and it's a laugh. So I did that, and then I went in. I got in early and got a pie, and because obviously there was a remembrance thing, so I didn't want to be late for that. I wanted to be in there ready for that, and that was absolutely impeccable. It was such and credit to the club and all the. I would imagine that the Latics veterans guys were involved in it and stuff like that. But they had a really, really good turnout. I mean, there was a massive crowd there yesterday. I think half of it might have been military or ex-military personnel by the numbers. There were absolutely loads of people representing all the different elements of the military, and it was brilliant. Really, really, really well observed, and. It was just great. Like, they'd brought loads of fans with them. Boundary Park was packed. Red v blue on the pitch. I enjoyed it. And we started off fairly well, and then they got into the game. It was one of a weird one. It was like we did some terrible passages of play. We gave the ball away really, really easily. We looked like we weren't fully at the races, weren't fully switched on. They had some glorious chances, but we never managed. We managed to stop Crewe ever fully getting on top during the game. Like we battled really hard, and even though we definitely were at our best, we gave it a good go, and we managed to stop getting overrun completely, and we rode our luck big time. But it was still on the cards right towards the end of the game that we might nick it, and their goalkeeper pulled off an absolutely brilliant save from Manny's header. And it was that close to us, like proper stealing the points yesterday. So I actually thought it was a reasonably entertaining game of football, and I enjoyed it. All my mates were there yesterday, and I've got no complaints. I'm happy that we kept the clean sheet. The lid would have come off Rochdale Road, and they would have scored. There was that. It just, you could feel it, just that sort of anticipation, and everyone was dying for the ball to go in. Wasn't our day. Wasn't Crewe's day. And it was a good point, I thought, all in all. In all that, there was some really shoddy play from Latics, which I think Andy's probably quite looking forward to expanding on. So,
well, I mean, for me, I watched the whole game. It was on Sky Sports Plus because of international break. You could watch all of them yesterday, so that was good. So I stuck it on and watched it. Let me give you the stats at half time, right? The stat corner, right? So passes, so passing accuracy. This is at half time. By full time, these numbers had evened out a little bit, but at half time, passing accuracy, we had 49%.
Yeah,
it's like a toss of a coin whether a ball was going to go to a blue shirt. Crewe had 70% passing accuracy. Attacking in the final third. 54% Crewe were in the final third, 31% we were in the final third. In terms of attack, they had 60% possession to our 40. They had loads of successful dribbles. We'd had none. They'd had 2 out of 5 crosses were good. We'd had 2 out of 11 crosses. Talk about crosses in a minute in that first half. And then defensively, we'd had 10 interceptions. They'd had 5. So we needed to, because they were camped in our half, is what you take from that. And they'd come up with more clearances than we had. Aerial duels won 73% to them, 32% to us. And that was the story of that first half, wasn't it? Is they were loads better than us in that first half. I thought they looked a much better team than we did. Now you can put that down to a number of factors. The wind was blowing towards the Chaddy Road end, and you could see Crewe in the second half having to adjust to that. They adjusted to it much quicker than we did. We kept lumping long balls with the wind behind you, just making the ball fly beyond the players that they were aimed at, which was strange. Obviously, we've got a whole new midfield in there with 3 first-team midfielders, if you include Hammond, Conlon and Woods out. And he seemed to go with a diamond for me. Is that what you saw? He played narrow, so we didn't really have proper out-and-out width. He played it narrow. My mate Danny McKinstry was there yesterday, and he texted me and said, if you'd have just swapped them, he thinks it would have worked better. So had Pett and Payne swapped, and Hawks and Hannon swapped. I just wanted to see more width because there wasn't any. It was just too narrow. And so we didn't really get on the ball very much. They had 4 players that have come through their academy. Now, that's an interesting point. I mean, Crewe are renowned for it, aren't they? They always have been. They invest a lot of time and effort into an academy structure that brings through youth. And they have these sort of times, Crewe, don't they, where they go on a run and end up getting promoted a couple of times, find themselves in the championship on the back of it, sell them all, and then get relegated back to League Two, and they go up and down like that, really. Which you'd be happy with for a club that size. That would be seen as relative success, wouldn't it? You having a period where you do. And we haven't got any of that because of the moronic side and the stupidity that's come from years before. So we don't have any of that. So we've just got a lot of aged pros in there. Now, it's going to take a few years for us to catch up with that. It's going to take the academy lads that are currently there 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons before we start seeing the fruits of that labour. So you've got to bear that in mind. But they have 4 players in the middle of the park, or 2 in the middle of the park, 1 at the back, 1 up front. But they were brilliant on the ball. Little tiny triangles, passing through the lines, lovely on the football. Just the Crewe way, the way that you know Crewe to be. We reverted to long ball diagonal humping, didn't we, in the first half? Daniels, lump it all the way down to where Mark Kitchen used to be standing and isn't. And you were like, it's just catching the wind. Pack it in. And that was kind of the story, really. And you've got to, there's context to place on it. Like I said, academy, injuries, weather. You come away from that.
I think also yesterday, Andy, I think that Woods missing, that was obvious, because I didn't think Pett actually took the game. I think when you're playing in that role just in front of the back four, you've got to demand the ball, and I don't think he did enough. I don't think he wanted he wanted the ball enough, didn't get on the ball enough, and I think the midfield was the issue yesterday. With Hawks and Payne out on the right, didn't really the right side of that diamond didn't really work. He struggled to get involved in the game. Woods is on the ball a lot more. I think it's really interesting when you see players establish themselves in a position and then they're removed from the team. You realise just what benefit they have in the team. And I think Pett struggled yesterday. I'm not sure that's his best position, that sort of holding midfield role. So yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you said there, Andy. They are a much better side than us in terms of like with the ball and how crisp they passed and how much they made. They've made some really good loan signings. That number 36 was really good.
He should have scored 3 yesterday.
Yeah, but I just felt yesterday, Damo, that like it wasn't their day.
Yeah,
and it was just one of those games, weren't it?
The way that I saw it was they played like the home side, we played like the away side. We know it's freezing at Boundary Park. We know the wind blows. So we revert to knocking 75-yard long balls to Joe Garner or Robson or whatever, when we know what it's like, it's either the midfield just didn't work at all. The way that he set him up, I felt sorry for Pet because he was isolated on his own in the middle and he was doing doggy runs from left and right, trying to cover across as best he could. Payne is a centre midfielder all day, so playing in wide right, he looked like a deer in the headlights half the time, and a few fans were getting frustrated with that. You had Hawks playing at the top of this diamond, he huffed and puffed and blustered and did a lot of running about. And then Hannett's playing wide less with Robson, and he'd be better on the other side because Caprice hasn't got the legs to get up and down. If you're going to play a centre midfielder out wide, you're playing where Robson is because Robson's instantly running up and down the left wing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's man of the match yesterday, Jake Caprice.
No. I mean, I assume AC tyres have been on the ale all afternoon to have come up with that because there was absolutely no way he was the man of the match. I think.
Well, as soon as it were announced, that's why Hudson shanked his goal kick straight out play, did he? So
yeah, in shock. Yeah, I mean, I have to say that I think the two players for us that came out of yesterday, for me anyway, the two players that came out yesterday looking like they were very comfortable in and around the surroundings, as good as Crewe were Robson and Hudson. They were the best two players on the pitch. You could have picked either of them man of the match, and I wouldn't to bother. Robson is an absolute Rolls Royce of a left back. I cannot understand. If Forest Green have got a better left back than that, then they need to be selling him for millions because he is superb. What a fullback he is.
There was a moment yesterday, Andy, that he reminded me of Andy Barlow, where he just kind of like he ran across the pitch. He was so determined to get the ball. He ran from the centre, from an inside position, and just ran across and then just slid in and put a tackle in. Boom, just put it out. Like really terrier-like defending. Brilliant it was.
Totally did, and I also loved Hudson coming off his line to that Pet back pass, but that he got to and got hurt in the process. Yeah. The Crewe lad didn't do anything malicious. It was just a 50-50 and they came together. There's nothing wrong with it. But his commitment was the exact commitment that Michael Mellon didn't show when he was 50-50 with the goalkeeper at Harrogate last week, right? And so
on Michael Mellon, though, I think he actually worked really hard yesterday. I don't think there was much. I think he put himself about a bit more as a forward. There was a moment where he was tracking back, and he seemed to be a bit more physically involved in the game yesterday, without there actually being much in the way of reward for him or whatever. So I think it's really easy to sort of like find fault in yesterday's performance because it wasn't good. Daniels, when they hit the bar in the first half, like just totally went to sleep in that instance where normally he would have just got himself in the right position, put his head on it or whatever. And we just rode our luck. And I think that I'll take that against a good side like Crewe, where to come away from a game where you should have been beaten and you weren't. That's usually quite a positive sign, isn't it? Because when you're really struggling and you're up against it, you get beaten. Crewe go away 3-0 winners comfortably, and we're dreading Newport next week, thinking, oh God, but Woods will be back in the side next week. I think there'll be a little bit more familiarity around the midfield, and I think we've got more than enough to beat a struggling Newport side next week. So it is easy to sort of focus on the negatives, but I think a massive positive from yesterday is that we didn't lose the game. I'm actually quite pleased with the point in the end.
I don't think I'm not saying anybody performed badly. Like I'm not having to go at anyone. It's just you're just seeing, aren't you, that I don't know whether you saw this week. All the National League games kicked off at 3:03, didn't they? So the Ugler family have been out in en masse, haven't they? Again, complaining about the fact that they were 28 points in front of us, and we. There's an article on the BBC's website actually, which I read, and it does list every club in the last 10 seasons and who got promoted and who didn't. And it just details that we were, other than the COVID season, when Harrogate had their season curtailed and still went up as playoff winners with 66 points. Our 73 points last season is the lowest points total in any of the last 10 years. And it is also the biggest gap from second. So, I think we all probably agree that it's fair enough. There should be 3 promotion places and 3 relegation places. But I think the thing for me is that the point is we managed to get into this league from the worst possible position of anyone over a decade. And every now and again, like yesterday, you're just going to be reminded of that. And you've got to have that at the back of your mind when you're viewing what you're viewing. You're like, I'm absolutely chilled and relaxed about it. It's going to take time to get right. We're not. I don't think we're good enough to challenge at the top end of the table. I never thought we were. So I'm kind of all right with it, just incremental improvements season by season will be great, and getting that academy going so we can get some youth in it, just like Crewe have got.
I think with keeping your players fit and being lucky. I think if we probably have our best, if we went through the season with everybody fit, ready to go, and having the options to bring whoever we were, I think we'd do all right, to be honest. But that's not the way the season goes, is it? And you start losing a few key players, and we have done through the season already. It becomes quite hard. And I think you mentioned it yourself, Andy. All the years of neglect at the club just mean that it's harder to have that backup and that strength in depth. And I think what we'll do is we'll come on, we'll have a listen to Mickey Mellon, but I think we'll come on to, I think it's actually quite a good club for us to play yesterday with Crewe, talking about the academy. Damo, you can tell us about what OASF are going to be doing for the academy and stuff like that. So it's quite a good chat to have. But we are behind. I mean, there's no doubt. Yeah. And I mean, the 3 up, 3 down. I think I saw somebody talking about it, and I'm not sure who it was. But the whole thing about academies with 3 up, 3 down, there's going to have to be something reviewed about that. You can't just have more clubs coming down and then strip them of academies, and then the rebuilding process is so much bigger. There's going to have to be quite a big review of the top 5 divisions, I think, and what that means, because the National League now is very, very different than it was 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago when it was just the amateur league. It's another professional division. So I think there's a lot of work to do. To figure out how all that would come together. But before we come on to that, let's have a listen to Mickey Mellon after the goalless draw yesterday at Boundary Park.
Mickey, what sort of performance did you get from the lads this afternoon?
I'm always honest when I stand in front of you. I didn't think we were competitive enough in difficult conditions in the first half. I thought that we didn't win enough first contact, certainly didn't win enough second contact, second balls to win that right to play. Crewe had some opportunities that they probably could have got the first goal, but didn't. So we come in at half time, spoke about that, and I think that we made more of a contest of it, certainly in the second half, in difficult conditions for both sets of players. I mean, I've just walked out there and then a gust of wind, is it? And you're talking about it, but I did think it was difficult conditions, but we've both battled out a draw, and I think there's no doubt that both teams were going for the win in a difficult afternoon, considering the conditions. But we certainly weren't happy at half time.
You mentioned about the great start in the second half. Did the substitutions help that?
Yeah, I think on came Little Drummond, and I think he looked like he sparked us into life. Mike Fondop will do what he always does and make us competitive, and I think, I'm always being honest, I think he'll be disappointed maybe that he doesn't do a wee bit better with some of the couple of opportunities that he got. Our keeper's made an outstanding save, isn't he, at the back post from a header, but they've hit the post and off from a header. It was a bit of that type of game, wasn't it? You kind of felt when they were attacking, you thought maybe they'll get it, and then you kind of thought when we were attacking, you thought that maybe it's going to be ours. It was one of them types of games. It wasn't, especially second half, there wasn't really a standout dominant team, but I think both sets of players battled it out in difficult conditions, but maybe at times that wee bit of quality was maybe needed in order to try and break the deadlock.
You touched on that save in the second half. Was that the best chance of the game from that Manny header?
I think that was a good chance, but I love Michael Fondop, but I think he had a couple of good opportunities. There was certainly one in the box where he might have let it go a wee bit closer to the floor before he hit it, so that he didn't sky it. And a couple of headers. That's no criticism. It's just about what I've seen. We've got a couple of good crosses, and he's did well. His movement to get on the end of it, but I think he'll be disappointed he doesn't at least get it on target. But they have one where they hit the post from a good header, I'm trying to think about as Matt had any saves to make, because I'm trying to be honest and fair, because that's what I always like to be, but I don't really remember any. But it was a hard-fought game in difficult conditions, and we were better than what we were first half without being scintillating with the ball, but we were a wee bit better because we did the things that was necessary in order to try and find that right to play in the second half. So credit to the players, they fought and understood that you've got to get the contacts, and you've got to come out with the ball and find that right to play in order to get into dangerous positions.
A couple of absentees in the middle, Ollie Hammond and Ryan Woods, due to injury and suspension. How did you try to kind of counteract those absentees?
Yeah, just the boys that come in are midfield players, so it wasn't a difficult decision to make, to be honest, Al. And that's why you've got a squad.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. We spoke before the game, Suzanne, about we have to try and turn these draws into victories. I suppose it's the next best thing to a victory is getting something out of the game. But we always say we're trying to win games to try and propel ourselves higher up the division. But as we've seen, the games are difficult. The games are hard fought, and a lot of honesty showed that they were in difficult conditions. Buoyed on again by absolutely tremendous support. It was fantastic. The atmosphere was great. But none of us could show enough quality, which we've maybe needed in order to try and break that deadlock today.
And another clean sheet as well. They're racking up nicely, aren't they?
Yeah, we work hard in all parts of our game, and it's good that part of our game is good. I mean, the stats absolutely show that. We maybe rode our luck a wee bit in the first half, where the boys hit the bar and they had a couple of shots that was right down the barrel of the gun. To be fair, a goalie in Matt's class sort of saves that reasonably comfortably. But we want to score more goals. We're a team that is set up to try and score goals. So we'll keep working on that. We absolutely know what we've got to do in order to try and get better and be more clinical. But it's a great, honest group of lads, and certainly in the second half we did more of what was necessary in order to try and get something from the game.
Is Matt okay? He took a bit of a whack.
Yeah, he's all right.
A few bumps and bruises today.
Yeah, it was a kind of, I don't think he'll thank. I think it was Petty, wasn't it, that played him into 50-50 and asked him how brave he wanted to be. What have you got in the locker, bravery-wise? I don't think he'll want too many of them, but he certainly showed that he wasn't going to let us down, and he made sure it was his.
We're the fire experts, fire safety experts at Pendle New Tech. We train fire marshals, fire safety marshals at Pendle New Tech. Pendle New Tech have fire experts across the UK, covering all your local and national needs. With over 100 years experience in the fire safety industry, you know that you can trust Pendle New Tech. Right, enough of that now.
Pretty honest, really. I think from Mickey Mellon there, it was not shying away from the fact that we weren't good enough in the first half. Definitely made improvements second half. You can't fault the commitment of the lads, even though some of them weren't having the best day. They certainly give it a go. And just another. Like I said it last season, just keep racking the points up. Yeah. So, what do you make of it, Damo?
Yeah, fairly honest with what we all saw, to be honest. So I'll give him that one, but. He makes his subs too late for me. He didn't influence the game as much as he should have done, but that's him as a person. He plays it a bit safer than normal, and but yeah, I agree with that.
He called out Mike for, I guess, when that ball dropped and he hit it over the bar, if he just waited a little bit longer. You could say the same about Michael Mellon in the first half. If he'd let that one drop, he wouldn't have skied it onto the roof of the Chaddy end either. So, I thought Drummond and Vondop affected the game well as impact subs yesterday. Both of them made a difference. I thought Mike was really unlucky with that header. That was the other thing I was wanting to say before about the crosses. In the first half, especially, we were doing these loopy, long crosses, no pace on them. Corners were skied, and some of them going out with the wind. And And it was only in the second half when Caprice, who looks to me like that injury has caught up with him, he's lost a yard of pace for me. He definitely hasn't got that burst to get away anymore. But he put in a couple of good crosses where he whipped them. And that's what Mike Fondop needs, is a whipped cross that he can attack, because he's really good in the air, Mike. And he did well. I don't think you could, and Drummond's shot looked, I couldn't tell from the camera angle that I was watching it, but looked a reasonable effort. So they affected the game. The problem is you see people on social media calling for them to start, which you can understand after that small cameo. But then when they start, as they have done previously, they don't affect the game in the same way. I like them as impact subs because I think they bring something. You've got the physicality in Mike and the pace of Drummond to stretch the opposition when the opposition is tired, I think is perfect. So I wouldn't change much.
Drummond himself is better slightly wide right where Payne was. That's where he played Tuesday when he come on and scored in the debacle that were Bolton at home. When out there, he seemed a lot more relaxed and cutting in, and that's where his goal come from, was literally a 1-2 up there. So playing him behind the two centre forwards, he was driving with the ball, but he looked a lot, on Tuesday night, he looked a lot better wide.
Those EFL trophy games, I think, have been quite revealing. If you look at them, what we've shipped 14 goals in 3 games. And
I've seen them all.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Rotherham game. I watched the Rotherham game, but I haven't bothered with the other 2. But we shipped a lot of goals in those games. Now, what that shows you is the strength in depth in our squad is not there. So our second 11 broadly isn't really good enough, which harks back to the link that we'll come to in a minute with the academy. We're found wanting really in that respect, and only one under 21 club. I don't think City have made it through, have they? I think Bolton and Rotherham have gone through from our group. I think
Bolton and Rotherham have gone through our group.
So City, after absolutely annihilating us 5-1 with their kids, have gone out. Anyway, I think there's only one under 21 club in the whole of the north and south section made it through, and all the others have gone out. Which shows you the sort of the depth in that. How the kids struggle against men's teams, but we've fared really badly in those 3 games, and I'm not bothered by it as such, because I can understand the wider context and the bigger picture, but it just to show you that we've got still quite a way to go yet. So we're 6 points off the relegation zone and we're 6 points off the playoffs, so like bang in the middle of the division, and I think that's probably the best we can expect. Really, we just got to hope the MK Dons don't take that FA Cup game seriously, and we can get into the 3rd round to have a little bit of fun, won't we?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Look, I mean, yesterday was. I love seeing Boundary Park busy. There was just under 9,000 there yesterday for a League 2 game. That's brilliant attendance for a League 2 game. Top end of what you get in this division, and it was a number of factors yesterday. Obviously no Premier League games and stuff like that. People probably bringing friends along and stuff. And Crewe actually travelled, which they don't normally do. Bit of bother after the game as well. Quite a lot of police sirens and kids in black on the roundabout at top of Chatterton Way, Featherstone Road. Getting up to nuisance and no good. So, not that that's a great thing, but, it tends to happen when there's like a fairly decent football match in town. And so it was a busy day, and I really enjoyed that. And that's what it's all about. And I can have absolutely no complaints about yesterday. Chalk it off. Like you said, Andy, we've got a lot of work to do to build up the quality of the squad in depth. Also, you don't change. Mickey doesn't change his teams drastically. There was only 2 changes yesterday that were enforced on him, but you don't do that normally, do you? You try and keep a steady team. And when you play these kind of cups and you change, quite a lot of players around, it massively disrupts the team. Like, teams get better by playing together consistently. So I agree with what you said about Drummond, Damo. I actually think, ironically, that when he's on the pitch, we don't utilize. Yesterday, what we needed to do when he came on, and there was a couple of occasions when players had the opportunity to do it, was just lump it into the space behind the defender, between the defender and the keeper when Drummond's on the pitch, because he's quick. He's the one person.
on the floor in the channel, not a big loopy heady ball where the defender's loving it. On the floor
No,
in the
but
channel.
just get it
chasing.
beyond. Give him
Yeah.
something to chase, because there was opportunities where he's breaking forward. But I agree, he would be better out on that right hand side. I was a bit confused by the midfield shape and select. Well, not so much the shape, but the selection. But yeah, it is what it is. Like Mickey said, we've battled it out, and we've got another point on the board. So I'm confident enough about Newport next week. You know, they're really struggling, aren't they? I think we'll have enough to beat them, providing we take our chances.
Well, you hope so. But I mean, Damo mentioned earlier the fact that Crewe look like the home team and we look like the away team. And you think about, we've ground out a 1-0 win away at Harrogate last week, and then we draw at home again. And this is Mickey's perennial problem, isn't it? His away record is really, really good. Like the stats, he's got a really successful points tally away from home. But he still needs to try and find a formula that works at home, because the way he sets us up doesn't really. We don't often, other than that Northampton game in the cup, we don't often start well, do we? And I heard his interview, Preza in the week, saying every team's trying to start well. Of course, we're trying to start well, but we don't often get it right at home. And I don't know what the answer is. He'll know more than me, but he's got to try and find a formula that gets us going at home first, so we can try and get in front. If we score the first goal, you fancy us to go on and win it, but we just don't do it very often, do we?
We don't. No. When we start, we just instantly back to our long. We don't get in the first 5 minutes. Don't get the ball and just have a knockabout and just get everyone have a touch and start and let's go from. Do you know what I mean? We never do that at all. We never just let's just roll it about. Even goal kicks, kickoffs straight back towards bump it long.
Mm. Yeah, I've had Paddy Harwood's been in my DMs again, pointing out that Hannon doesn't affect the game very often, and a few people on social media. I quite like Hannon. I think he has been a bit more sort of a passenger in the last few weeks, possibly. But there was a when Conlon, before Conlon got injured, that Conlon, Hannon and Robson sort of triangle on that left side, I thought was working well. They were passing the ball on the floor a lot through the lines to run onto overlaps going on. And that's affected Hannon, I think, not having Conlon around. You talk about Woods, you realise that you miss Conlon, don't you, when he's not in the team? So, yeah, we're going to...
Left foot versus right foot debate, and with Conlon being naturally left-footed, he's going to drift out there anyway.
Yeah.
With Woods being right-footed, he'll instantly go to the other side.
Yeah. So there's a bit of work to do, but you know it is what it is. Have you seen? We'll come back to the OASF stuff in a minute. Have you seen this week? Wimbledon are looking for investors. So I know a little bit of background to this. One of the guys that owns the business that I work for happens to live in Wimbledon Village near a chap that was involved in setting up of ASOS, who's on the board of directors at Wimbledon. So I hear a little bit of the stories about it. They're struggling, Wimbledon, financially. They're in a bit of bother. They had to sell some of their best players that got them up last year, and they expected to go down. They're actually doing all right in League One, but they've got a massive deficit. And then there was this article this week about League One clubs trying to propose a new way of financing the league, and it's been met with a bit of derision from the Football League. I'll just read a bit of this article here. So the EFL is to oppose radical proposals from League One clubs to introduce a £4.7 million salary cap and a luxury tax for clubs that overspend. So 18 League One clubs wrote to the EFL chair, Rick Parry, this month, advocating a fixed squad salary allowance, which they say is required to get spending under control. The median average loss among the 24 clubs in League One last season was £5.2 million. We lost 3, if you bear that in mind. And Peterborough and Reading have been behind this. So they want to propose 100% tax on every penny of overspending above the cap, which will be redistributed to clubs that stayed within it. So trying to create some sort of meritocracy, and it's copying a little bit of an American system, apparently. And the EFL have said no, because they tried to do salary cap, put salary cap in place after COVID, and that the PFA took legal action to stop that from happening. So you can see how this big thing's going on, isn't there, in football funding, and obviously in League Two we're under slightly different rules than League One, and the Championship different set of rules again. but something's got to happen, hasn't it? Because you can't continue like this. Because if Wimbledon are struggling, fan-owned club, it's not good, is it?
Well, it's inevitable, Andy, that every club at some point is going to struggle. Like it's just a roundabout, isn't it? It's like Latics now. Like we've been through a period where we tried living within our means, and our means were getting smaller and smaller and smaller. We struggled and struggled and struggled. Somebody comes in and buys us. Somebody makes some balls of it. We're in this situation now. We've got new owners, and we're coming in, and then there's this aspiration. You're putting money in, you're losing money. It's like the whole model is completely unsustainable. Like at some point, the money gets withdrawn. We're going to struggle again, and that's just the way it goes. And it's having these, and like we were saying before about having teams dropping down to the National League, losing their academies. That's ridiculous. Now, that doesn't help the long-term stability of any club. And having different rules in different divisions is just absolutely crazy. Like, it's just the football structure. It's like everything depends on everything else to exist. And it needs to be seen as a whole. And the individualization of clubs, and the top six in this Premier League wanting certain things, and then the rest of the Premier League wanting something else, and the Championship, it's just ridiculous. And the amount of money that gets spent in the game but leaves the game is absolutely criminal. And that money goes to agents, it goes to players predominantly, and then it goes to all the other leeches and hangers-on that hang around football. And it's crazy, and it does need changing, and it needs to be changed in the spirit of competitiveness. Like football, all football clubs have a right to exist and to compete, especially if they've existed since 18 something, which the majority of the football clubs in the top five divisions have. Like it is an incredibly important part of our heritage, and we all love it, and yet it's just constantly on the brink of another club going out of business. Sheffield Wednesday recently have just come back from the abyss. Like it's ridiculous, and it's almost like each division, like you said there, Andy. I didn't know about that about League One, but clubs of League One putting something in, like it's fractured, isn't it? It's like so there's not something happening for the good of the game, like one movement for the good of the game, because everybody is looking after their self-interest. It's not about the collective security of the game. And I think, unfortunately, that's what's going to be the reason that nothing actually gets achieved, because it needs the whole of football to be together in its aims, and they're not. It's just, I don't know what the solution is.
Well, a regulator with teeth. We don't hear anything about the regulator, do we? It's just silent. Government needs to do something with it.
So every club is fighting for themselves. Every club is like, what can I do what can we do to keep the club sustainable and without the additional support of the game at large? And then obviously that brings us on to OASF. And yesterday I was selling fanzines outside, like I mentioned earlier on, but I wasn't the only one flogging my wares yesterday. No, OASF sticker album.
Selling our beautiful little A5 size sticker album. So in the fan bar, we had unprecedented demand, is the best way to put it, because we sold out within about 2 hours. We ran out of stickers, so we've got a new lot all coming. So we'll be selling at the next one. So just around the sticker album itself, it's based off the 3 playoff games, obviously, that we did. It's £2 for your album, £1 for a pack of 5 stickers. We're going to have a swap shop there next week at Newport, and we're going to carry on selling them right up till sort of Christmas time. So it'll be at all the home games near board number 9 usually, because we sponsored the OASF dartboard in there for people to come see us. So it's just literally, there's 40 stickers in your album. What's that? There's 40 stickers in your album. A fair few shinies in there, and 50% of the profits that we make are going to get donated to the club's academy as well. So just help out with that. And yeah, it's just a little thing that we wanted to do to, first of all, treat Oldham fans to 3 of the best games that we've probably done in a long time. And to obviously touch on the point Andy made regarding the academy and us losing our funding and getting it back, and well, trying to get our academy level back and get everything sort of promoted back in there.
Yeah, I think it's really a really nice idea, and I think like having that memento, especially the kids, loads of kids that were at Wembley for that day, and you know, it's a really special part of our history now, and I think, you know, we all remember having sticker albums and stuff when we were kids, and I know there were a lot of adults that wanted to get their hands on them yesterday as well as the kids. Yeah. So I think it's a really, really good idea. Really credit to the board for coming up with it and getting it into production as well, because that comes with its issues, doesn't it? I know I've been chatting to Jim a little bit. It's not been easy to get it done.
No.
But I was getting asked quite a lot yesterday because I was out there selling the fanzines. People were going up to me, where do I get the sticker album? I was like, oh, it's in the fan bar. Is it not available in the club shop? I was like, no. And so I asked the lads in the text group, I'm still in the group with the directors from OASF, and I was asking them yesterday about, like, is it not available in the club shop? Like, well, surely it would have been a really good place to put it. Not everybody. First of all, I mean, people were saying, well, I don't really go in the fans bar. Or whatever, so that was kind of limiting who could get it. And a little bit disappointed, we don't have the club on for a right to reply, but it'd be nice maybe they got in touch and let us know. But apparently that was an idea that was sort of kicked back. It wasn't.
We asked the question,
encouraged.
And we was advised that we couldn't sell it in the club shop for a different number of reasons. But it's what it was. It was in the fan bar. It was also available in the family stand in the tuck shop as well. So we took some up there. We was going to sell them at the back of the family stand as well, from sort of 2 till 3, but that didn't happen because we sold out. So we did have other plans of trying to sell it in the ground as well, near the family stand, so we can move all them along. It was just obviously we ended up selling out. So it was supposed to be in the fan bar sort of 12 till 3, and then we were going to have some at the sort of back of the Rochdale Road, then near the family stand, selling there as well, sort of pre-game. To try and do that as well, but we ended up, like I said, the problem was we sold out. So we will be getting more, and we will be selling them there as well. So it'll be in the community tuck shop, be back at the family stand, and in the bar.
How come it can be in the tuck shop and not in the club shop?
The club shop is run by the club. The tuck shop is the community trust.
Okay.
So the community trust would let you sell them in the tuck shop, or the club wouldn't let you sell them in the club. That's the bottom line.
Wendy, Martin, Sandy, we're all perfectly happy with us putting it in there. So,
like I said, the club aren't here to reply, but it seems to me, and in my experience, and you know, the OASF want to be involved and help the club in as much as they can. It's not like it was when I was on the board and the Lemsguns were in charge and we were at loggerheads. Like, the things have changed, and I think the understanding between the two organisations should be pretty clear by now. You've decided to create a sticker album, and you want to sell as many as you can, and you want to give half the money to the academy. If they're in the club shop every day, you'll sell loads more, and more money will be raised for the academy. Simple as that. And I know from my experience that it can be pretty tricky to get these things done, and the club could do a bit more to help facilitate what OASF want to do. And the information that I got from the lads is, I was disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I was disappointed that the club wouldn't help you and wouldn't put them in the club shop. These are the kind of initiatives that you've got a brilliant opportunity to work on together, do some really good PR between the two groups. It's a fan group that want the best for the club. Just stick them in the shop. Like, what is the problem? I really don't get it. I think it's really disappointing, and I'm not here to beat up on anyone. But look, we'll give people praise and credit when they deserve it, and we'll call it out when we think it's bullshit. And I think this is bullshit. I think they should have put them in the shop. Jimmy Schofield is responsible for that. I've not reached out to him. I'm not asking for a right to reply. If he wants to come and say the technical reasons, but look, Roy's book's in the shop. There are other things that go in there that aren't like the normal stuff. OASF, shareholder in the club, trying to raise money for the academy. I don't care what reason you give me. It won't be good enough. Just put them in the shop. That's my 2 penneth. And I'm going to say it because that's as bluntly as it can be said. And OASF won't say it that bluntly to everybody at the club. So I'm saying it, which is part of the reason why I withdrew from OASF, so I could say these things. And if I saw Jimmy or Darren or anyone else, I'd say exactly the same thing to them. They should be in the shop. Come on, like, you know, the swap shop should be in the shop, so people can come in. It just seems a bit ridiculous to me. Having said all that, you know, like, it's not the end of the world, but let's see a bit more cohesion between the two groups. Like, football clubs need their fan groups, like OASF. We've seen that in the past. We're talking about how clubs grow and become more sustainable. The relationship between fans and club is incredibly important in that. We've started from scratch at Latics, and I just don't think it shows very good will towards OASF to not help and reach out and sort of say, yeah, this is a great initiative, well done. They've not even promoted it on their socials, have they? It's not even been promoted. It's like there's like a division between, like, this is like, come on, lads, this is not. I don't think this is good enough, to be honest with you. I think it's a bit shitty.
I've got to say, we do have a great relationship with the club. We meet with Darren once a month. Darren can't do enough for us. Whatever questions we raise or problems or whatever frustrations fans have got that bring to us, we always raise them with Darren. Darren takes them on board, feeds them back. Same with the couple other bits that anyone raises with us. So you know, we've got great owners at the moment, which is hard being a supporters foundation, to be honest. When everyone wants to join you and everyone wants to be here. So
100%. But I think it's things like this that give the opportunity to show fans that the club and OASF are really well aligned. That there's a really good this is a very public facing thing that could be done. A lot of the stuff that you're talking about, and, you know, like I said, got loads of time for everybody I've mentioned there, you know, like Jimmy and Darren and Luke and the owners and all the people that are meeting and around the club. They're all lovely. They've got loads of time for it. This is something that they could really take on and sort of like push to the forefront and say, this is something that we're doing together. We're proud to be doing together. We're doing this for the academy. And if they got behind it, you'd sell a shitload more. And it's kind of like when we did the retro shirts. They kind of wanted to pull the plug on the retro shirts. It could have been something that they could have worked together on, didn't. And it seems like, you know, having been, you know, around when the retro shirts were going on and the resistance to what I get involved in that, doesn't seem like it's moved on very far when there's something like this that the club can very publicly support OASF on. And like the fact that it's not being pushed on their socials, I don't think there's a good enough reason not to do it. And I think I'd love somebody from the club to, you know, send us a written statement to read out on the podcast or whatever, or get involved, and tell us why.
Can I read this out though? Right. A former owner of the football club is the founder and chief executive officer of Preeminent. He is a visionary entrepreneur who has successfully transitioned from a career in sports management to spearheading a burgeoning startup in the real estate industry. His background in sports, marked by strategic leadership and handling high-profile sports figures, has equipped him with a unique insights into team dynamics, negotiations, and client relations. At Preeminent, this former owner and director applies his rich experience to the challenges and opportunities of the real estate market. He's a pioneering and innovative approach to real estate, focusing on personalized client experiences and building strong trust-based relationships. Although Preeminent is early, this former director and owner's leadership is instrumental in laying a solid foundation for the company's future growth. His vision for Preeminent goes beyond the conventional scope of real estate. It's about creating a brand that resonates with clients personally, understands their unique needs, and offers tailor-made solutions. Who is that utter fucking drivelly word salad describing?
Dave Bradley.
Jesus Christ. We could still be owned by that. We could still be owned by that utter clown. That's how I look at it sometimes. You're like,
yeah,
you know.
So
absolutely. That was Abdallah Lemsgim's word salad, just for clarity. No, I come look completely. Look, I'm just trying to put across some of the frustration that I know some of my former colleagues on the board of OASF feel when it comes to this kind of stuff, because the club could do more publicly to support OASF. I think like a lot of the stuff behind the scenes, like you said, Damo is great, but I think this opportunity is something they could do more publicly to sort of push that relationship and the good that OASF want to do for the club.
Yeah, I echo that as well. I just want to say, we're going to show them. The way that I see it is the club want to see it. They've said the frustration regarding the club shop, that's fine. Well, we sold out in 2 hours yesterday. We'll probably sell out at Newport. We'll probably sell out. So all the money will still end up going to the club in the end. But we want to show that we'll without it being in the club shop, we're still going to sell them regardless. We're still going to sell a stupid amount of number which we sold yesterday, and I just want to thank every single Oldham fan who come and bought one. That's what I want to do. If you want to learn about what the Supporters Foundation are doing, I am in the fan bar pretty much every home game, 12 till 2. I'll be near and around dartboard number 9, which we sponsor. Come and speak to us. It's £12 a year to join us. And the more members we've got, the more bigger voice we've got when we go to the meetings with the club, the more we can raise any problems, any issues. Just come and see us.
Yeah, and like you said, Damo, it's hard when things are going well. But I think the struggle that we all need to realise is, like you mentioned there, Andy, there's been an ongoing struggle to fund football clubs and keep them sustainable. And clubs that are fan-owned struggle, clubs that are independently owned struggle. The future of keeping a club sustainable is marrying that relationship as best as possible. The entire community, projects like Sports Town, like there are loads of great initiatives and things that the club and the people running the club are doing. And I'm not criticising them for that at all. You were allowed to sell them in the fan bar, which obviously is run by the club. I just think that the obvious place for a sticker album and stickers is in a shop, and like you would clearly sell tons more. You'd be able to order tons more if you had them in the shop. So please reconsider it, lads. I think lads and lasses, I should say. Let's get these things out there and Latics, show that you're behind OASF very, very publicly, because that will have a massive, massive impact on membership of OASF and people getting involved in it, and the potential for future increased revenue for the academy, the club, and all that. It's a bit of a no-brainer for me. So let's hope that can be reconsidered. Right.
Should we put Damo through his Latics mind paces?
I think we definitely should. How did you get on last time, Damo?
I think I got 1 or 2 last time, but I had Paul round before picking up his stickers, so he told me he sent you another 50 questions and some of them were absolute stinkers, so that's kind of him. Thank you very much, Paul.
Right, well, enjoy your Latics Mind experience, which, as it happens, is sponsored by OASF. Latics Mind is sponsored by Oldham Athletic Supporters Foundation, investing in the fans, the club and the community. Join today at oasf.co.uk for just £12 a year. OASF, because we're stronger together.
In 1996-97, who did Latics beat in the League and Cup away 1-0 and 3-0, yet lose both home games 1-0 and 3-0?
Tranmere.
Wrong, it was Grimsby Town. Latics have sold 5 players for £1 million or more, but who was the last?
Chris Armstrong.
Wrong, it was Paul Bernard. As well as before making my name at Latics, I was on the books of West Bromwich Albion and Coventry City. Who am I?
Lee Hughes.
Wrong, it was Andy Gorham. During the 2017-18 season in League One, who was Latics' top scorer with 12 goals that season?
Luke Beckett.
Owen Doyle. Latics' win at Harrogate last week was our first away win wearing red since 2016. Who was our last win against in red?
Leeds United.
It was Southend United when Curtis Main scored to keep us up. Rick Holden famously scored an overhead kick at Newcastle in September 1989. Which other player also scored an overhead kick in the same season? It was at home to Sunderland.
Andy Ritchie.
Correct. If in doubt. Who am I? I was a Welsh international centre-back signed by Joe Royle in 1989, but I only played 22 league games in almost 6 years at the club.
Andy Linnigan?
Andy Holden. To date, we've only won one league home game this season. Who was it against?
Barrow?
Wrong, it was Bromley. Drew 0-0 with Barrow, didn't we?
You all blend into one. Just one big continuous football game.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Well, you got one and no passes, Matt, so you've got away scot-free.
Yeah, that's good. That thanks, Damo. I appreciated you just taking punts in the dark there.
Yeah, best way.
Yeah. The only one I think I got would have got was Andy Holden. Yeah, I mean, Paul Bernard. That's a long time since we sold a play for £1 million, isn't it?
Yeah, a long time.
Long
time.
Yeah.
He was a footballer and a half.
Yeah. So we certainly need to. We need to be fostering these lads through the academy, selling one for £1 million every year, ideally. That would be nice, wouldn't it? With add-ons as well. But there's a long way to go. But and I know one's claiming that OASF sticker albums are going to solve the academy or the future funding of the club. There's a lot more to do, and it's it's great to see the club getting back on its feet, and that's for yesterday. Like that's what I took from yesterday. We've not had many away crowds, decent, like Shrewsbury, probably the one before that brought the most, but getting Latics into League One with all the troubles that come then, the extra millions that you need and stuff like that. But getting Boundary Park full is and playing proper clubs with proper away followings and stuff again it's on the horizon, isn't it? And we've got some of the bigger games at Boundary Park to look forward to still this season. The likes of Grimsby will bring a few, Chesterfield, Tranmere, Notts County. So I'm looking forward to those games, and on the whole things are incredibly positive, even after a lucky 0-0 draw at home against Crewe yesterday. So yeah, the sky is definitely a blue in the best possible sense, and I think we're all pretty happy, aren't we? So, how have you found your time at OASF so far, Damien? Has it been interesting? Has it been tough?
Yeah, it's good. I do enjoy it. A lot of people probably don't realise how much goes on in the background. With all of them and the little plucky band that we've got together. So it's really, really good. There's some good things on the horizon that'll be coming up that'll be announced on social soon. So that'll be good. We've got obviously the boot bank appeal still going. We've got the sticker book now, so that'll be in pretty much to the rest of the year. We've got a few other bits knocking about, so hopefully it's an exciting time in peace times to pick up and get going. So hopefully we can get in a place where we've got our rainy day fund all set up, the 1895 fund and everything in place. God forbid if something does happen, but that's the main thing. But yeah, it's been really, really good. But anyone got any questions, come see me.
The Boundary Park Alert System is sponsored by Pendle New Tech, a family-run Lancashire business you can rely on for everything fire safety related, including supply and installation, maintenance, testing, certification, alarms, risk assessments, like I said, anything fire safety related. But what do I know? Visit pendle-nu-tech.com and they'll sort you right out. Check the show notes for more information.
Any other business, Andrew?
No, we've done it. I've ticked them all off.
You ticked it all off. And just remind anyone if they want to get involved, if they're interested in real estate, where do they go?
Yeah, they go to Preeminent.
Yeah.
I mean, just if you're going to call your business something, if you call it Preeminent, you better be fucking good. You know what I mean? And I'm absolutely certain that he ain't going to be good. And the other thing that fascinates me with that is he was a transfer agent, and we know how. And if you're and now he's and I don't want to be
Andy Starks, Abdallah and Zoom.
I don't. People
proper stalks him.
People send this stuff to me because they know that I'll read it out because I find it funny. But to be an agent, he's now a property agent, having been a football agent. I mean, there is no required skill, is there, to be an agent? You just basically. You're just being a smarmy salesman in the middle, and I don't want to be disparaging to if there are estate agents amongst the fan base listening to this. Sorry about that, but it's amazing.
Presumably, he fancies moving on substandard French properties for ridiculously inflated prices. That's his business model. One would imagine.
They're all the properties are based in Dubai and the UAE, and you have a look at them. Some of them £5 million, some of them like a couple $100,000, but they're like shoe boxes down to massive villas. I had a little look. There was half dozen to a dozen properties on there, but it's just so rubbish, isn't it? Right? I wouldn't advise it. How as an agent are you going to provide like this personalized experience? Shut up!
It sounds incredible what he's offering, Andy.
What's he going to do? Give me a massage while I'm buying the house? It's just like nonsense.
Come and pick you up.
yeah, amazing.
One thing I do want to say before we clock off, that Damien's obviously come back on as a returning fan guest. I think we've got one lined up next week. We've had a few. We've been pretty much booked up for the first few months of the season, but we have got some gaps in the run up to Christmas and the other side of Christmas. So if you want to come on and be fan guest and test yourself at Latics Mind and talk to us about things that you've got on your mind, please do reach out to us. We've got a few weeks we can put you up in. If you want to come on for the first time, that'd be great. If you want to return, you've been on before, get in contact.
Absolutely, yeah. No, we really value the contributions of the fan guests on the podcast and the phone in. It's really important. And just looking at the fixtures, Andy, next week we've got Newport. Following week we've got Accrington Stanley away. So two very, very winnable games that we need to win. And then it's FA Cup action at Milton Keynes. Are you going to Milton Keynes, Andy?
So we have people coming to stay with us that weekend. So I'm not going to make it.
Which you've arranged since the draw for the second round of the FA
Cup. so I can avoid it. I mean, I've already been once. I honestly don't want to go again. It's in the middle of a car park and shopping centre, and I don't really fancy it. I'm going to Crawley, which I think is the week after or so, or shortly after that. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Damo, thanks very much for coming on, mate.
Pleasure, guys. Thank you.
Nice one. Don't forget to keep a sticker album to the side for the podcast team so that we can fill it. And have you got one, Andy? Are you able to get them to ship to like Andy and people like that and around about?
We are in the process of talking about it at the moment. It's going to be in the fan bar at the moment, but I think going forward it will probably be online and be able to send it out.
Well, that's good to buy the stickers because my mum and my cousin were at the game yesterday. You probably saw them because they've bought a couple of sticker albums for my two kids and a load of stickers. So we've got some already, but we'll need more, I'm sure.
Nice one. Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, great initiative. Brilliant. Come on, Latics, pull your finger out, get them in the shop. That's it. That's all I have to say, apart from thanks for listening. I'll see. Oh, is Dave? I don't think Dave's in it for the phone-in. So,
just out of interest, he's not turning up to phone-ins. He's barely done any interviews with Mickey with his press pass. Right, he's barely using it. I can't remember the last time we had a fans only. If he was getting his annual review at this time of the year, asking for a pay rise, he's getting now, is he?
No, he's hopeless, really, and I don't know why I tolerate him, but. Look, I've always looked at kind of just looking after Dave, making sure he's all right, and just being there for him. So I'm there for him, But if only he was there for us occasionally, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? But he's busy now. He's in Twickenham. He's doing all these other things. Because he's just a sexy man around town, and you've just got to respect that, Andy. You know what I mean? He's an enigma. There you go, Dave. That's as much as you're getting from me. So yeah, put your finger out, Dave. Cheers, lads. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll see you all for the phone in and the podcast next week. Cheers. Goodbye.
Hey Dave, did you know that listeners can now buy us a coffee or any other kind of hot beverage? What's your favourite hot beverage, Dave?
A macchiato.
And how do you like your macchiato?
Black with lots of milk.
No cream?
No.
Well, if you want to buy Dave a
macchiato,
then go to buymeacoffee.com/We Are Oldham. I'll just have a Nescafe.
Thank you, listeners.